You sigh and look Alice in the eyes. You've already lost her once. You're unwilling to lose her again.
Alice, I'm gonna tell you what I know. It's not much, and I'm not sure how reliable it is, but it's the truth as best I understand.
You tell Alice everything. About waking up together. About the sadistic choice forced on you both with the 5 clones and Dr. Alcasan. About her brainwashing and sacrifice. And even about the voice on the speaker telling you that she is an AI program. You do not, however, reveal the presence of the dog, as you worry the radio voice is likely still surveying you.
I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's okay.
Her breathing becomes shallow and her hands tremble on the panel glass.
You're telling me I'm not real?
Her trembling hands constrict into shaking fists, and she looks down at her hands with disgust plastered across her face.
If I'm just a program, then why do I feel this way? Why do I remember things, think things, web things? Does that sound artificial to you?
She looks back at him, the internal disgust transforming into external rage.
And if I was brainwashed, if I was forced into that, then why am I still here? Why do I even exist now?
Her rage twists into a desperate longing. Her face contorts in an overflow of emotions.
Tell me, why do you trust any of this? Why do you trust me?
You look from her back to the door and find yourself absently tracing along the scars of your skin.
I don't know if it's about trust or not trust. I just know I can't leave you here alone. It wouldn't be right.
Before you give yourself more time to overthink your decision, you reach out and grip the lever, and then pull it down with a sharp tug. True to his word, the far door clicks shut, and the light on it turns red, indicating it will not open. Alice runs over to you, and for a moment you fear she's going to attack you now that the barrier is gone. Instead, she throws both arms around you in a tight hug.
Thank you.
She whispers.
Thank you for not leaving me. I don't know what's real.
She admits, her voice shaking but resolute.
But if you're here, if you're staying, then maybe we can figure this out together. Whatever this is, I'm not giving up. Not on you. Not on us.
She smiles, and her face takes on the same demeanor you're now familiar with.
Now we find out what's next. Together.
You both look around the room, wondering where you are to go. You hear an affirmative ding sound from the large room you came from. As you walk back into it, you see an elevator open from the wall opposite the clone vats.
That must be the way forward,
you say, and begin walking towards it. Alice tightens her grip on your arm and refuses to move forward.
That's me, isn't it?
She shakes her head violently, as if trying to clear it.
I can't go near it. What does this mean? What am I?
You take her hand and lead her past the 5 human-shaped corpses in whatever one would call the remains of Dr. Alcasan to the now open elevator.
Just stay with me, okay?
You encourage her.
We'll get past this and move on to the next room as a team, okay?
She nods but does not speak. You enter the elevator and scan the inside panel. You're half expecting some convoluted puzzle you'll be required to solve, but instead, there's a single lit-up button.
Thank you, God,
you whisper. However, you can't shake the feeling that this elevator moving so easily means you're racing towards something worse. As the elevator raises upward, Alice stares ahead, lost in thought, and whispers almost to herself.
This seems too easy.
She looks at you, seeming to search for reassurance. You try and offer a reassuring smile, but her reaction tells you it was sheepish at best.
Do you think this thing ever ends? Or are we just gonna—
As if indignantly answering her question, the elevator dings and the door opens into a new room. In the middle of the room are 4 opaque cylinders, each about 10 feet tall and 6 feet wide. The two farthest from the elevator are closed, while the two closer to the elevator are open, revealing what looks like electrical chairs with straps around the arms.
It'll be a cold day in hell before I get in that thing,
You say, taking your arm and pulling Alice away from the terrible sight.
Oh, you'll be getting in all right.
The same voice from the radio retorts.
If you don't, I will command Alice to force you in, something you know I am capable of.
Damn you.
You curse, looking around the room in vain.
Is that what you people do around here? Whenever things aren't going your way, you start using magic spells to make people act how you want? What kind of scientist are you supposed to be?
You can't let them make me do it.
Her voice had a tremble to it, and her body shook.
I can't control myself when they use that code. But you can fight this. Don't give in. Not to them.
She pulls you closer and speaks in a conspiratorial whisper.
There has to be another way. Something they're not telling us. I don't trust these chairs. I don't trust what they'll do to us.
Your eyebrows raise in exasperation as you glance from her earnest look to the execution-style electric chairs inside the concrete cylinders.
Yeah, I don't exactly trust the death chairs either, Alice.
You sigh, and some of your internal exasperation comes through. She doesn't seem to notice, and her eyes dart wildly around the room like a panicked animal.
It can't keep forcing us forever. There has to be a way to break this cycle. We just have to find it.
You take a deep breath and take her hands in yours. Her eyes lock with yours. You try harder than last time to give a truly comforting smile.
Maybe there is some magic trick that'll get us out of this. But until we find it, we'll just have to play along. The last time I abstained, I got you killed. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice.
You gently pull her closer and offer her a quick hug.
We'll make it through this. I'm positive.
Her breath catches for a moment, and she softens into your hug.
Okay. If we have to play along, we'll do it together. But the second we see a way out of this, anything, we take it.
She pulls back to look you in the eyes one last time and gives your hands a soft squeeze.
I trust you, and I'm not gonna lose you either.
She lets go and begins walking towards one of the open cylinders.
Let's do this, but stay sharp. Whatever's in these things. And I'm not convinced it's just part of the game.
Without looking back, she climbs into the cylinder and approaches the chair. Before she can sit down, the opening closes itself, preventing you from seeing inside.
The only way out is through.
You think to yourself and walk up to your own chair.
Sit.
The voice commands as the cylinder closes around you. You begrudgingly obey.
Put your hands in the straps, then your fingers.
To your mounting horror, you realize there are individual slots for each finger of your hand. You hesitate for a moment.
Do it or I kill Alice.
You grit your teeth and place them into the slots. The straps are pulled by some sort of crank in the thick metal seat and tighten painfully around your hands and fingers.
We are going to try a new test.
The voice continues once you're in place.
In this game, you'll have two choices presented 3 times. Those choices are attack or vulnerability.
A screen lights up in front of you with those 2 words glowing on it.
Each of the 4 subjects will be given the same choices concerning the other 3. Each round will have 4 possible outcomes. Outcome 1, you both choose vulnerability. No damage is done to either of you. Outcome 2, you both choose attack, and each of you lose a finger.
Cold, adrenaline-laden terror spikes through your body at these words.
Outcome 3, you choose to attack while your opponent chooses vulnerability. You will lose no fingers and in fact will be given a tool that will aid you in a later challenge. Your opponent will lose 3 fingers. And outcome 4, the inverse happens. You choose vulnerability while your opponent chooses attack. You lose 3 fingers and your opponent gains a tool.
Your mind begins to race, but the voice gives you almost no time to process. Time seems to slow as a picture of Alice shows up on the screen.
I remember something like this before. The optimal choice is for everyone to always choose vulnerability, at least as long as you can trust the other players. I can trust Alice.
You nearly choose vulnerability, but then pause.
Alice can be made to do anything by the voice. I trust her, but what if it's not really her I'm playing against? What if it's that villain on the radio?
You grit your teeth and close your eyes. A shout of exasperation. You make your choice. Next, a picture shows that fills you with sadness. The dog from the vents fills your screen with the same two choices.
Poor fellow got caught after all.
You think with regret.
He was nothing but friendly. I shouldn't attack him.
But another thought enters your head.
But he did seem frustrated that I didn't take his advice earlier. And now we're all trapped and without any real leads. Will he hold that against me? Should I defend myself?
You grit your teeth and make another choice. Finally, an unfamiliar face comes on the screen. It's a man with pale white skin, long blonde hair, a clean-shaven face, a slim but muscular build. And he has blue eyes, a strong jaw with high cheekbones.
That's one of the clones.
You realize.
How many of those guys are there?
You pause for a moment, again frustrated with your lack of information.
I don't know anything about this guy, his motivations or personality. He's a complete wild card. Surely he wouldn't choose attack on a stranger, would he?
With more uncertainty than ever, you make your final choice. After your final decision, you hear something rumbling from below, a buzz sawing. It seems the consequences of your choice are fast approaching. What did you choose?